Hey folks, my guest today is Mark Smith. He's the president of CleanConnect.ai. They use AI to help oil and gas companies produce clean energy at a profit. He founded Windows NT Magazine with a successful exit of $100 million in 5 years. He's also the host of Digital Roughnecks, a video podcast for energy technology executives. Mark, are you ready to take us to the top?
All right. Hey, thanks, Nathan.
Man, you are the definition of niche. Digital Roughnecks, a video podcast for energy technology executives. I love that.
Yeah, well, 80% or more of our energy comes from fossil fuels and will, in spite of all the focus on renewables, for the next 20 years. And one of the key things is, that we pride ourselves in the US and other countries do too, is energy independence, right? So these energy companies, they want to produce clean energy at a profit, but there's a lot of regulations, heavily regulations, including new ones coming up in legislation that's going to kick in 2022. And so, and a lot of investors are out there that are ESG investors,
Yep, that's important.
Yep.
And so how are you helping me? Like, is it software or is it a service?
Yeah. So we combine specialized cameras, which are called OGI. They're mid-wave thermal cameras that can see these volatile greenhouse gases, essentially. Thermal cameras and optical cameras together with our AI software to help automate emission compliance. In addition, what the big discovery was, we also help them with their autonomous operations. So not only do the compliance part, but we also save them some kinds 10x ROI on an investment with us by people savings.
So Mark, what are they paying on average for the software per month or per year?
On average, okay, so an oil and gas site per site will pay about $5,000 to $6,000 a month.
Okay, $5,000 to $6,000 a month. And how much does it cost to install the OGI hardware, the cameras, the sensors?
So that could be an all-in. We sell the whole thing as a service.
Okay, so it's $5K a month. How many cameras or OGI sensors does it come with?
So it would come with one OGI, several thermal cameras, and then couple opticals.
What are the hard costs of that for you, getting one site set up, just the hardware expenses?
20%.
Okay, got it. So it costs you $1,000 just one time flat fee to get all the hardware.
No, these are 5 to 10 year deals.
So 20% of what?
So you got to understand the way oil and gas works. It has a unique tax treatment, okay? So when you're building a new pad, there's a thing called intangible drilling costs. So in that case, they want to accelerate CapEx. So they'll pay us for 10 years upfront, everything. All hardware, all software.
$5,000 a month times 12 months is $60,000 a year times 10 years is $600,000. You have folks that have paid you $600,000 per site, all cash up front.
Correct.
Okay, got it. And so you're saying it's $60,000 or $120,000 for just the hardware install.
Right.
I see. That's expensive for that stuff, huh?
Yes. And they're used to that because every one of the customers we have has bought a FLIR GF320 camera. It's a handheld OGI camera. That's how they do what's called LDAR inspections, leak detection and repair. Those are $120,000 CapEx item. Because of the volume and things like that, our camera is substantially less than that, but they're used to it. When they hear OGI camera, which is the standard, they know, hey, this is going to be a premium service.
Yeah. And how many sites, I want to get your backstory here in a second, but how many sites are you installed on today?
So we are on 20.
On 20, across how many customers?
Across 11 customers. So we have, so the company's started in March 2020.
Oh, wow.
And we have 11.
New. That's great. Congrats.
Yeah. So we have early visionary customers. The first 2 are starting to roll it out to multiple sites. All the rest, they're on one, pilot site, but usually pilots last 3 to 6 months with some of these companies because our main client is I would say a multi-billion-dollar oil and gas company.
Yep. I mean, can I take 11 customers and 20 sites? Can I multiply 20 times that $600,000 contract value per site you just quoted?
Yes.
Got it. So you've done $12 million in all cash up front already.
The pilots are not that much. The pilots are 6 figures, but it's a finite period of time. However, all the pilots, if we meet the pilot objectives, start to go to scale.
I see. How many are already paying your your per monthly fee of $5,000 a month?
The two clients
Okay.
who've, yeah,
Okay, got it. So the pilots in what? They're like $100,000 sort of pilots for 3 months.
yeah.
I see. Got it. So you're like 10 to 15 grand a month right now in revenue in terms of MRR.
We're six figures.
Okay, I don't understand the math. There's two customers and two sites. They paid 600
Yeah,
grand
but
each
no,
and
no, no,
five
no,
grand a
no.
month.
When you start to go to scale, okay, each one of these customers, some have 400 sites.
No,
Some
Mark,
have,
I get that.
yeah. No, when they,
I'm talking like right now.
yeah.
Though.
When the customers go to scale, they're adding 10 sites at a time. Okay.
Yeah,
so
Mark, I understand
yeah.
that. I'm talking today though. There's two customers and how many sites across those two customers?
Okay. So just with those two customers alone are 20 sites.
Yeah, but I get your point in that they can scale. There's a bunch of extra. Are they paying $5,000 a month for all? Mark, are they paying $5,000 a month for all 20 of those sites?
Correct. Upfront for the 10 years.
I see. Got it. So then you're doing recognized MRR when you deferred over 10 years. You're doing over 100 grand a month in revenue.
Yes.
That's great. So, I mean, that's fast growth. That's $0 to $1 million run rate in under what, 18 months, 12 months?
Yes.
Okay. How did you do that? Did you use your media business to close those customers quick?
Yeah, actually what happened was when we started, it was just an idea. We did have a third-party company build a basic level model on leak detection. Then literally in the first month, I did a webinar with FLIR. FLIR is the market leader in this category. They invited their customers. Every one of the customers that was invited was a purchaser of one of their previous cameras. FLIR recognized us as their AI partner, and boom, we picked up our first client who then paid us to do those models as well as 10 other models. Mm-hmm. So now the big idea is we're now selling a suite of models that we call Autonomous 365.
Yep. But just to repeat this back to you, because I want to give you credit where credit's due. You've got two logos that are paying you, and they've already paid you for installation across 20 sites at 600 grand a site, all cash upfront.
Yes.
So 20 sites times 600 grand, all cash up front means you have $12 million that has hit your bank in the past 6 to 12 months since launch.
It hasn't gone quite. They go in tranches. So they're
not paying up front.
But let's put it this way: we're funded completely by our customers. Yes.
No, I love that. I never am questioning that. I'm trying to get a sense of when you.
I don't want to go too much. Suffice to say, you're close, but I can't go too deep into the numbers like that.
Well, it's fine. I'm just trying to understand all paid. When you say all paid up front, that would mean they all paid up front, not in tranches. So if it's tranche, are they paying once per year at the beginning of each year?
Okay,
I've never heard of someone paying 10 years up front. That's why I'm curious.
Yeah, and it's because of there's a tax treatment with oil and gas companies, very unique to this market. It's called intangible drilling costs. So when it's a new pad, they can pay up front and accelerate their investment and write it all off in that year. When it's OpEx, meaning it's now a production pad. So our customer number 2 was a OpEx. We, by the way, found a financing company that will, cash flow the whole thing so we can finance that. But the bottom line is
you'll lend your customers money to finance.
Yeah, that will not. OpEx doesn't pay all up front.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, they want to recognize and sign the contract so that it's sort of like billable ARR, because then they can take the tax credits up front. The cash will actually leave the bank, though, maybe on a different schedule.
Yes. So
I see. Got it.
And so it works out different new pads versus existing pads or sites. Yeah.
I see. Very cool. Okay, tell me more about the company. So you launched it last year. How many people are on the team today?
10.
10 of you guys. Okay, and are you the sole founder?
No, there's 4 of us.
That's okay. That's a lot of people to get to agree on one thing. What'd you do? Split 25 each?
More or less.
Okay. And are you guys all like buddies, or how'd you meet these guys or gals?
I was the IT guy. These guys were all oil and gas engineers. And so there was a particular problem that was happening in Colorado, which is where we're founded, where Colorado regulations were moving to continuous monitoring. And that was a game changer. So we met with FLIR. How are you going to handle it? So we said, hey, we'll jump in and create the first machine model. Another regulation happened in Colorado. basically saying where the oil and gas tanks, they could not open the thief hatch. They needed another solution for that. So essentially, we're following these regulations. And then in Colorado, and now it's starting to spill out all over the U.S. There's some other regulations coming up. We're getting our system being approved by the EPA, and it's done through one of our clients actually, who's presenting our stuff to the EPA.
Mark, how many engineers are on the team?
So we have 6.
6. Interesting. Okay, take me back in the backstory here, because you had a magazine that you sold as well. When did you exit that company?
2002.
Okay, and was that your baby? You owned 100% of it?
No, and I own that with some other partners.
When did you found that? When did you issue the first issue of the
magazine? The first magazine was September of 1995. We sold in September of 2000, and then I had a 2-year kind of exit.
How's the magazine valued?
It was valued at 100 million.
But how? What's that a multiple on?
It was a multiple on certain things. So at that time, the multiple was based on 3 chunks. So the print magazine part, the events, and then the digital part. The digital had a 16 times multiple because digital at that time was so new in the media space that the acquiring company paid huge multiples for it. Yeah.
So what the digital was doing, 6 million by itself times 16 is 100 million.
Digital, not quite, but print was healthy. It was a subscription-based magazine, so all paid. The events were very profitable, and the digital was literally printing money at the time.
How many issues did you ship? Like how many households got a copy of your magazine in 2002?
So it was in, let's see, probably about 250,000. So, but wow. It was in 13 languages, and it was 160 countries. So, and it was a paid subscription magazine. So it had all of these different internationalization versions of it as well.
Mm-hmm. And what was the cost, the subscription cost?
$50 a year.
Wow. Okay. That's not bad. $50 times what, 250,000 houses. What is that? 12.5 million a year in revenue there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's incredible. Do you regret selling it now, looking how big media companies are today?
No, the timing was unbelievable. Honestly, if we had waited another year, probably would have got a third of that.
Now, was that like life-changing sort of FU sort of money where you don't have to worry about money the rest of your life?
It was. Okay. Yeah, but you get bored really quick, so, and some other stuff. So I ended up creating an agency and helped other media business owners exit. Mm-hmm. So that I was well known in the M&A space and the media deal. So I would help other business owners and get their portfolios going and stuff like that.
Very cool. And you bootstrapped this company, correct? I imagine you put your own money in?
Correct.
How much of your own, can I ask, how much of your own you put in?
Not much.
Like to
be honest with you, I expected to put way more, but we landed our first client in 30 days and they wrote us a check. So I'm like, holy crap, this will be the biggest return of my life.
Yeah. So you put in like under $1 million of your own capital, would you say?
Yeah. I don't even want to tell you because it's embarrassing.
I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it's impressive, but you have to say what it is for us to be impressed.
Less than 6 figures.
That's great. So you were able to sell this customer and get that cash before you had the actual hardware built. You sold them on a slide deck.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great. Now, that's the way to do it. Very cool. Any plans to raise, or you want to stay bootstrapped?
Yes, we're going to raise. And the main reason is because ESG is happening now. And there's a big opportunity right now. And that
What's the right amount to raise?
It's interesting because when the number we need to hit the scale numbers we want to hit isn't much, a couple $1 million. But we have people who want to give us way more than that because they, one of the things that I was very successful at doing with Windows NT Mag is buy a bunch of companies. So, we're talking about doing a SPAC and putting extra money and buying up, because I was very successful near the last year prior to exit at buying great engineering companies who couldn't market their way out of a wet paper bag. And they're like, we hate sales and marketing. And I go, well, I love sales and marketing. Let's pair up. And great engineering company, and they was very accretive. So there's a number of acquisitions that we'll probably do as part of this.
What do you think the company's worth today?
$1.350.
And what?
I mean, no, I honestly, that is the, $100 million question. I don't know.
Interesting. All right. The M&A guy does not know what he thinks his company is worth today. I don't believe you, Mark, but we'll leave it at that. All right. Talk to me about salespeople. Any sales reps on the team?
No, the founders are doing all the selling.
Okay, that's you. And you don't have enough history yet to know about churn. CAC, how did you find these customers? I guess it was from your media business, right? You had a distribution mode.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the things, because I have a media background. I launched Digital Roughnecks, and it's amazing. You create I became an expert in the industry by interviewing experts in the industry.
Yep. Very good. All right, Mark, great story here. Let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, favorite book?
Currently,
yep,
I would say Play Bigger.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
No.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Clean Connect?
ClickFunnels.
Number three, what's your, or how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
8.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married with kids.
How many kiddos?
I have 1 kid and I have 1 grandchild.
Wow. Okay. How old are you?
61.
Last question, Mark. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Becoming an entrepreneur is tough, but it ain't that tough. You should go for it.
Guys, cleanconnect.ai, helping oil and gas folks comply with new ESG rules and regulations. He sells an OGI hardware pack plus an AI installation pack. Call it $5,000 per site, annualized at $60,000, and they usually pay 10 years up front. At least they commit to it contractually. So $600,000 contract value is there. They've already got 2 customers live, paying for 20 sites, $100,000 in a recognized MRR, about a $1.2 million run rate, all bootstrapped, which we love. Team of 10, 6 engineers, founders and all the sales. Then maybe we'll raise now a couple $1 million. Maybe look at a SPAC and doing a roll-up. We will see what happens. Mark, thanks for taking us to the top.
Yep.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.